Hey guys, Gaming Engineer here. This is race 3 of Nations Cup for the week that's just gone by, the DC2 Cup, that I had a lot of trouble with. I thought I'd make this video finally with kicking your ass, Thirsty Ho, myself, and it's got a lot of skill. That's a mouthful. So this video is just to recap what happened. I think I've explained it pretty well in the multiple posts, but I thought I'd have the video as proof of my shit driving, basically, because it is my fault. I'm gonna wear that, but at the same time I just wanted to show you the various angles, because to me it wasn't just my fault. I'll wear the blame, you know, I caused the incident, but in my personal opinion I think Thirsty did compound the incident with Kikinya and myself when I hit him alongside the track when he wasn't off track, but I hit him off track basically, and I got a penalty for it, so obviously the game thought I did wrong as well. But you'll see Thirsty compounds that by hitting his rear bumper and effectively finishing off the spin, and he picks up a penalty as well. So the fact that the game gave all of us a penalty, I guess, maybe says when not everyone's innocent in that incident, but again we'll touch on it as we go by. So it's a heavy first few laps, and I'll be commentating for a fair bit of it before I fade out, but we'll hit the first incident soon. Thanks guys. So the first incident is coming down to this right-hander. You see I brake pretty heavily just to avoid contact, and there's a lot of argy-bargy going on in front of me. Kikinya and Thirsty make contact, and then Thirsty bumps me off, and there was a bit of contact there when he came back on track, but it was fine. I wasn't going to be too upset with it. You just move on. But you see this cutaway scene, look at the amount of contact. Thirsty's basically ramming him off the track, and then he comes on to ram me, which wasn't cool, and I didn't appreciate it. But at the same time, for him to sit there and think that he was the only one affected really did seem the pot calling the kettle black. So I just wanted to highlight that to just show the opening lap, first lap, they were already pretty aggressive, elbows out, bumping each other, and they bumped into me. I tried to keep out of their way, but I was on the receiving end of that. So while it may seem all rosy, yeah, they were a bit more aggressive than they should have been, I thought. So you'll notice we're coming down to the Sector 2 right-handers, where I was particularly strong. I've just highlighted the Thirsty vs. Kickinya incident, just to explain why they got, well, I think Thirsty got a penalty. You'll see he's pretty aggressive with bumping Kickinya, even through the corners, and corner cutting. So, yeah, I just wanted to highlight the fact that they weren't as clean as I guess they portrayed themselves to be. And then we get the main incident, which is where I take the blame. You'll see Thirsty had the penalty, cuts right across to defend, which is fine. I brake heavily so I don't make contact with him. He's turning to the right to avoid going onto the grass, which is okay. I'm in the way, but it is what it is. I'm paying attention to Thirsty. I don't expect Scott to brake as soon as he does. I hit him. He runs alongside Kickinya. I tap Thirsty, and then I tap Kickinya, and that's where you'll see him spin out in the background. So here's the view from Kickinya's point of view. You see he got a good run out of that with all the penalties and things like that, and the tow. And he's doing really well at this point, which is why I feel bad, because I ruined his race. And it is my fault. But you'll see he's following Razor pretty well, getting the tow, moving out of the tow, trying to keep himself in a good position. This is where Scott comes in after I've tapped him. You'll notice that. Runs him a little bit wide. And then I come flying in, barge him off the track onto the dirt, and then that's where you see Thirsty just finish him off and ram him. So here's the point of view from Thirsty after his penalty. You see he'll move quite well away off the racing line, which is why I came through. Then I had to slam the brakes when he closed the door, which is fine. It is what it is. I'm trying to get the tow from Scott, but all this time I'm trying to keep an eye on Thirsty because I don't want any trouble. I don't want to barge him. I hit Scott, as you see, and then Thirsty comes across, tries to make the corner, doesn't, hits me, hits Kickinya, and then just finishes him off, basically. So, as much as I take the blame, I do also think there were other factors involved, where there were other people like Thirsty, basically finishing him off, hitting his rear quarter, and spinning him, where the game actually gave all of us a penalty. So yeah, I mean, I guess it thought we were all at fault, basically. So the last incident of the race, you'll see Thirsty cut down the inside on this right-hander. There was no room there because I closed the door, so he barges his way through, hitting me, and for some reason he got upset. So I'm not too sure why he was upset. I was a bit annoyed because there was no room there, so I cut down the inside. I was like, nah, fuck you. I'm gonna take the position back, because if you have the balls to do that and then think it's fine, well then fair's fair. So I cut down the inside and took the position back, but I just felt it was on the nose for him to cut down the inside, hit me, and still think it was okay. So again, I think Thirsty was not as innocent as maybe he portrayed himself to be when I explained the situation, but having watched the replay, I mean, he did some dodgy shit, so, you know, I mean, it is what it is, and if you can give it out and you can't take it, well then you should learn to race cleaner. I had my mistake. This was a shit race for me. This is a learning curve, and this is a lesson to everyone else on not what to do. But if Thirsty thought it was okay to race like that and call other people out, then I think you're just being a cunt, basically, and you should learn some manners, because, you know, I've had to. So the same lesson should apply to you, I think. So here we are, on the final lap. I took my penalty, still stay ahead of Kicking, so that was lucky for me, unfortunate for him. But it was a shit race. I've given my point of view on how I saw things, providing replays, but I'm still beating myself up over it, but I've got to learn, take my lessons and just not tangle with these guys, basically, and hopefully I can have some better races. But thank you for watching. Sorry it was a bit of a shit replay, but I hope it's shed some light on how things went. And if you enjoy this content, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.